NBC 7 News at 11 starts now.
Good evening and thanks so much for joining us. I'm Mark Mullen. So hundreds of people whose lives were uprooted several months ago by all of that historic flooding in San Diego right now are in the process of suing the city. The plaintiffs live in areas like Southcrest, Mountain View, Shelltown, and Canto. NBC 7's Omari Fleming explains why they're blaming more than bad weather for the damage to their homes and lives.
This is the second time that a man living in a home right here behind me is suing the city of San Diego for flood problems. Now, he's one of nearly 300 plaintiffs in a case that says after years of neglect, the city failed to maintain its storm drains and storm channels, leading to a deluge of problems. Greg Montoya is in a bit of a love-hate relationship.
It's a great city to live in. I mean, we got the weather.
The San Diego native loves his city and his Southcrest home that's now gutted as a result of the January floods. But he's frustrated with city leaders over policies that he says created the perfect storm that damaged hundreds of homes, forcing him and others to continue living in hotels months later.
I love the city of San Diego. It's unfortunate that our politicians have let parts of San Diego almost look like a third world country, and it's through their policy and their neglect that has happened.
Those claims of negligence spelled out in a lawsuit he and nearly 300 others submitted to be filed. They're alleging the city of San Diego inadequately maintained its stormwater system, contributing to its failure in flooding. The suit also claims the city was well aware for years that it didn't have enough money to fix the problem.
What we're hearing from the city now is the same type of arguments that we heard back in 2019.
Plaintiff's attorney Evan Walker calls this a terrible case of deja vu, not only because, according to the suit, city engineers told the city back in 2016 that the South Choyas Creek Channel needed repairs, but also because Walker represented Montoya in a similar flooding case against the city back in 2019 that was settled.
We have cited in the complaint papers, published white papers that were sent to the city telling the city that this was a problem, the blocked Cholas Creek. The city knew about it. We have documentation cited in the complaint that the city didn't do anything about it for years, and they knew something like this could happen.
The city called the punishing rains that fell in just a few hours a generational storm that no system could have contained.
The city needs to get their priorities straight.
Montoya says the crisis could have been averted if the city would do what he does and what residents have requested for years.
If you don't remove the trash from the storm drain, we get flooded.
Clean out the storm drains and make fixing the stormwater system a priority over other projects.
Installing bike paths, and they knew very well that the storm drain system was inadequate. Why would you do that?
What do you equate that to? What's that like?
A mismanagement? It's nothing else, neglect.
Alleged neglect that could cost the city $100 million in damages because of the lawsuit. Omari Fleming, NBC 7.
And we reached out to the city for a comment. A spokesperson told NBC 7 they actually have not been served with the lawsuit formally yet, but will not comment on pending litigation anyway. Meanwhile, the attorney says he's also in the process of filing suits against the county and other cities where flood victims were also affected.